So if you've searched for navigation and you found this video, you already know that in iOS 16, Apple has changed the way that we navigate through our apps when we're programming and coding them. So let's start from the basics and we'll work our way through it. And in this video, like I said in the intro, we're going to be looking at the new navigation system. I'm going to split this up into a series of videos to hopefully make it easier for you to find what you're looking for. This specific video, the first one, we're going to just look at NavigationStack and the base of what we need to do to better navigate between data. Specifically, in this case, sort of expanding a list view. So we're going to go from a simple view into an expanded detail view, which I will show you how to do. That's going to involve three elements. It's going to involve navigation stack, then we have navigation links, and then we're going to use navigation destinations. And we're going to see how these three fit together to navigate through a simple list view. So let's have a look in Xcode together and figure out how it works. So let's give us a little introduction to this project that I've set up. You will notice there are two types, string and integers, or arrays that I've set up. So I've just got some words, strings, and I've got a list of numbers, integers. Okay, just two arrays that we can work through. I have worked through those arrays to make a list of our data. So I've got two sections, one's for words, one's for numbers. I've got a for each passing over the respective arrays. So one with words, and we've got them all listed here. And secondly, we've got this all listed here, okay? And as you will notice, no matter how much we tap and click, it does absolutely nothing because we've set up no navigation whatsoever. Now, our first step to get navigation, and the goal is, as you probably can tell, is we want to have the little arrow here, we want to click it and expand it to the new view, seeing more data, but in this case, we'll just pass in the word and so we can see the word in bigger text, because why wouldn't you want an app that helps you see yes in bigger text? What we're going to do, first step, is setting up a navigation stack. And this is done the same way that navigation was done previously. So if you've done that, then this will be pretty straightforward. It's literally just typing in navigation stack and wrapping our view in a navigation stack. Now, nothing visibly is going to change, but you'll notice where it has. This is all customizable, just the same as navigation views were before. So if you go inside your navigation stack, you can add a navigation title, which we'll just do data, okay? And there you go, see, so our title turns up, everything working wise to work with this navigation stack is all pretty standard to how you would have had it before iOS 16. Now, what we want to do now is make a navigatable way link so that we can look at these words and numbers. And the way we're going to do that is, if I just get rid of this, is in our for each, instead of just making a text, we're going to make our previews crashed as it would do. We're going to make a navigation link. Just going backwards, you'll notice that there are a few different inputs we can put in NavigationStack. We're going to do that in future videos. This one's just a simple navigation plain stack, and simple looking at that. Now, we want to use navigation link. Again, there's a few, and I think as the rest of iOS gets devalued, some of these are going to disappear. But the one that we're looking for from iOS 16 onwards is this one with a value and a label. Slightly different way of working with this, because we have to remember that NavigationStack has changed the whole in the background of how it navigates, which is that it's looking and dealing with data, not views, which is why we've got this whole change to everything having to be hashable. And you'll see it again on the other side when we do the navigation destination bit, that again, hashable data is all that it's looking for. So any custom types or anything that you're dealing with will have to be hashable. Apart from if you're dealing with views and actual screens themselves, complete screens, there's a little workaround with that, which I'm going to be covering in a future 2 videos time. We'll say 2 videos time. And there's a specific way you got to get around that. So yeah, I had to work around that the other day, and it was a little bit of a setup, but genuinely when it's done, it's great to work through. It really is a really effective way. But anyway, back to this navigation link. We want a value and a label. The value that it's looking for is going to be a type. Now I'm going to pass in word. Okay, so it's our localized value, but that's going to be a string. which we will see in just a moment. And our label is going to be the view that we see. So in this case, we're just going to do a simple text, and we'll pass in Word as we work through, and there we go. So there we have it. We've got our little arrow that shows that it's navigatable now, and that was simple enough. However, do a little tap and you will notice that they do nothing still. It's just all for show, because SwiftUI at the moment has no idea what to do when we click where do we go and what do we show. So to fix that problem, we're going to now look at navigation destination. However, I'm going to do a cheeky copy and paste just to make our numbers navigatable as well. And instead of that, we're going to paste in our number. And instead of this, we're going to have to do a little string interpolation to allow us to put our number in again. And this should show up pretty nicely. Yep. And again, it's all for show, nothing's happening. So how do we make it not for show and it actually works? Well, down here, so inside our navigation stack, next to where you would put your title and everything, we're now going to put in a navigation destination. And again, we're looking for the for and destination one. And you'll notice again, the inputs, they're all hashable. Hashable protocols, destination is a hashable, which produces a view. So again, you can see how it's all data-driven, this. So what are we looking for specifically? Well, we're looking for a type, and that type is a string. And you're going to have to identify this with the .self, otherwise that's not going to work, and you're going to scratch your head for a little while. So make sure you put self. And then in this, we're going to do it similar to a number in. So in this case, I'm going to say word in, and then we pass in the view, because even though we're not iterating over a for each, we're going to iterate over whatever we're touching on. So we touch on one of these, we're passing a yes value in, and then a no value. So each time it does it, we want to create this variable in a whatever view that we want. And we're going to create, just to show what we're looking, how possible this is we're going to create a Z stack. I'm going to just do a color in the background, which is black. It's going to ignore the safe area. And then we're going to do our text, which will be our word. And that's going to have the foreground color of white. Otherwise, we're not going to see it. And we're also going to make sure that this font is a large title that is bold. And all being well now, Xcode should allow us to navigate. There we go. So yes, on a background, it's created. So as you notice, it's passed through our word. It's now created a Z stack with this, with our word passed into it, and we've got yes. Okay. Go. Maybe, sorry. Go. Been a bit slow. Good old previews. You'll notice as well that it gives already the back button. So it comes as navigation did in past. It's basically working in a similar sort of way. Just remember that this is data we're working with, not views. So the hashable thing is all part of the process. Interestingly, obviously, if it's not hashable, it also has to be equatable as well. So any custom type has to fill in that. I've got a little video out which goes through about being equatable, just in case you're not too sure on that. So hopefully that's helpful. Check it out in the description. I'll put it down there. Now, next thing to just be aware of when it comes to this new way of navigation is we've set this up to look for strings, and this is passing out strings. However, this is not passing out strings. This is passing out an integer, which is not a string. So at the moment, numbers, even though we can navigate on here, numbers does nothing. And this is one of the interesting things about how navigation will work with data from now on, is that we are going to, you can set up these destinations on a single view to respond to different types of data to do different things. And in that case, it makes it quite a unique way of, programming this in. So what to do with this now is we're going to do exactly the same thing. In fact, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another cheeky copy and paste because that's what we do. But in this case, obviously, we're going to pass in an integer. We don't want to pass in a string. I'm going to change this just so that the numbering, our wording system and naming system is correct. And we're going to just put this in as well because we're going to have to interpolate it. And there we go. Xcode's not shouting at us. We're all good. And we should have, if our previews aren't slow, there we go. 0. And now it works. So hopefully you saw, maybe rewatch that bit just in case you didn't get it. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward, hopefully, if I've explained it right and not overcomplicated it. We have 3 things at work here. So we've got a navigation stack, which makes our view navigatable. This then is next step is navigation link, which is which is the view itself that we click on and that we get to navigate with. That's what's triggering the navigation. However, this passes out now a value or a type that has to be picked up somewhere, and that's where navigation destination comes in, where you tell it what type to respond to. So it's not responding to a specific button, but a specific type, and then that then takes you to a view. And this can be done with different types of data so that you go to different places. So experiment with that and try it out. This will now set us up nicely for the next step, which is navigation path. And that gets a little bit more interesting, where we deal with arrays of views. And then after that, we're going to now look at, in the final video, we're going to look at how to navigate between screens, because this itself is just simple data. But if you have, a game or a fully fledged app with a lot going on, and you want to not just respond to a type and expand some sort of detail view, but you want to actually navigate from screen to screen specifically, you're going to need to set it up a little bit differently. And that will be done with navigation path as well, but with a different setup. So I'm going to review that as well. So stay tuned. So hopefully you found that useful. Hopefully I didn't overcomplicate it and it was easy enough to understand. Let me know in the comments how you get on and how you find this new way of navigation. If you find that it works well, or if you prefer the old ways. Personally, I think that this is a brilliant way, and especially with the navigation path, which we get into next, it's really good the way that it works. Very simple to keep track of and makes it very customizable. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please do, with the whole YouTube thing as normal, like and subscribe. It really helps me out and the channel. And please comment below for any other future videos that you might like to see. And yeah, thank you for watching. Take care and happy coding.